I know what y'all picked about the polls, but when the queen speaks, and that's all I'm gonna say, and that's all that matters to me.
So the reason why Sinners resonated with me so much is because it's something that you see every day, and no matter how hard you work, no matter how good of a person that you are, no matter how talented you are, sometimes that's not enough to get you places that you need to be. And that's why Sinners, like, I was crying right after, because I feel like anyone in the industry could really resonate with it.
Chloe Bailey just broke her silence, and the truth she dropped has sent shockwaves through the music world. After years of smiling for the cameras, playing the part, and keeping quiet, she finally revealed what many suspected but few dared to voice. There's a darker side to Beyonce's Parkwood entertainment. Behind the awards, the girl power anthems, and the meticulously curated image of empowerment lies a system that controls, restricts, and, in some cases, traps artists. Chloe's own journey should have been a fast track to superstardom. She had the talent, the look, and the seal of approval from one of the biggest names on the planet. Yet instead of soaring, her career stalled. The reason? It wasn't luck or timing, it was the machinery behind Parkwood itself. When Chloe and her sister Halle signed with the label, fans celebrated. They assumed landing a deal backed by Beyonce meant hitting the jackpot. But the numbers told a different story. Their contract promised $1 million, but spread over 6 albums. Break that down, and it's roughly $83,000 per person per album. For 2 young women with Hollywood-level talent performing on global stages, that wasn't empowerment. It was exploitation masquerading as mentorship, and it didn't stop at the money. Promotion for their work was minimal at best. Albums were dropped with little to no rollout. Singles that had the potential to chart were ignored, and opportunities to shine were systematically withheld. Meanwhile, Beyonce's projects received every imaginable resource and push. The sisters were caught in a golden cage, visible enough to reinforce the label's mentorship image but carefully contained so as not to threaten the throne. Chloe and Halle weren't anomalies. Sophie Beam, another rising talent at Parkwood, experienced a similar fate. Signed with huge buzz, trained, polished, and prepped for success, she produced an entire album, ready for release, only for it to vanish into the shadows. No explanation, no release, just silence. It's a pattern that's hard to ignore. Artists enter with dreams, only to leave with wasted time and restrictive contracts. Those who truly thrive under Parkwood are rare, and unsurprisingly, they're Beyonce and Jay-Z. The rest? Collateral damage in a system designed to maintain the Carters' dominance. Chloe's story highlights this vividly. Ahead of her debut album, she turned to her fans for guidance on which single to release. The fans chose overwhelmingly, yet the label, and specifically Beyonce, overruled the choice, forcing Chloe to release the other track. That single decision revealed the harsh reality. Creative freedom wasn't hers to claim. Every note, every move, every strategy was dictated from above. When her album underperformed, the blame fell squarely on Chloe. The invisible hand of mentorship had been guiding or controlling her every step. It's a cautionary tale about the cost of fame under the guise of empowerment. When the system prioritizes control over artistry, even the most promising talents can become casualties. The truth is, Chloe Bailey was never meant to win, at least not beyond a certain limit. The system around her wanted just enough success to prove that Beyonce's mentorship worked, but never so much that Chloe might outshine the empire she served. Meanwhile, her sister Halle's story took a completely different turn. While Chloe fought to get her music noticed, Halle was living the dream, starring in Disney's The Little Mermaid, gracing red carpets, landing magazine covers, and collecting Grammy nods. She became the industry's golden girl almost overnight. Naturally, fans started asking, how did that happen? How does one sister rise to global stardom while the other, equally gifted, struggles to find her footing? Insiders began whispering that the difference wasn't about talent. It was about compliance. Chloe drew a line. Halle didn't. According to those close to the situation, Halle played the game. She followed the unspoken rules, did what was expected, and in return, the machine rewarded her with fame, visibility, and protection. Even her highly publicized relationship with DDG, sources claim, was more strategic than sincere, a PR move orchestrated by Parkwood to make her seem more relatable, more human, more marketable. DDG's massive online following gave Halle the kind of mainstream exposure few new artists could dream of. And it worked. Overnight, she became a household name. But when DDG realized he might have been a pawn in a larger image-building strategy, that the romance was less about love and more about leverage, things reportedly fell apart. The breakup wasn't just personal. It cracked open a carefully crafted illusion. Through all this, Chloe watched quietly from the sidelines. She knew the price of playing along, and she wasn't willing to pay it. She could have had the same push, the same spotlight, the same protection, but only if she compromised everything she believed in. Then came the moment that changed everything. Chloe went live, and for the first time she spoke from the heart. She didn't name names, but she didn't need to. She talked about the hidden darkness of Hollywood, the way the industry demands not just talent but surrender. "I know what y'all picked in the polls," she said, her voice steady but tired. But when the queen speaks, the queen speaks. Her meaning was unmistakable. She didn't need to name names. The weight of her words carried the message with undeniable clarity. Chloe referenced a film about a singer caught in a battle between faith and fame, a woman forced to choose between staying true to herself or surrendering to the machine. The symbolism was unmistakable. Fans understood immediately. Chloe had chosen her soul over success, and the cost had been her career. When she spoke, her voice cracked. It carried the weight of years spent struggling in the shadows, the heartbreak of watching opportunities slip by, and the frustration of being silenced while others thrived under the system she refused to serve. There was a vulnerability there, a raw honesty that made every word feel urgent. "The reason Sinners hit me so deeply," she admitted, "is because no matter how hard you work, no matter how good you are, sometimes it's still not enough. That's why I cried right after, because I know a lot of people in this industry feel the same." And then the internet erupted. Social media lit up with reactions, from fans to fellow artists to casual observers, all struck by her courage. Her story wasn't just about Chloe. It was about anyone who's ever been asked to compromise their integrity in order to climb. Her honesty resonated because it revealed the invisible forces at play in the music industry, forces that operate quietly but relentlessly, shaping careers, silencing dissent, and rewarding conformity over creativity. The reaction wasn't limited to fans. Industry insiders began discussing what Chloe had said in hushed tones. For years, Beyonce and Jay-Z have been surrounded by rumors, whispers about elite circles, secret societies and shadowy rituals, the kind of stories that often sound outlandish until you consider the patterns of control and influence in the music world. Whether or not these rumors are true doesn't really matter anymore. They've become a part of the mythology surrounding the Carters, a lens through which people interpret Chloe's courage and the sacrifices she might have made. To many, her revelations suddenly fit into a larger narrative about power, control, and the cost of staying at the top. Her words also forced a reconsideration of what fans and the public thought they knew about the mechanics of fame. The industry often sells the idea that talent and hard work are the keys to success. Chloe's story challenges that narrative, exposing a harsher reality. Success isn't purely meritocratic. It's transactional. It demands compromise, obedience, and sometimes the surrender of one's creative voice or moral compass. Chloe's refusal to play by those rules made her a symbol of resistance, but it also came at a heavy personal and professional price. Fans and critics alike started connecting dots they hadn't noticed before. They began to see a pattern in the rise and fall of artists under certain powerful labels. Those who adhered to the system thrived, those who resisted faltered. Chloe became the poster child for the cost of independence in an industry that rarely rewards defiance. Her bravery exposed not just a personal story, but a structural truth, one that many had suspected, but few had articulated so plainly. And the symbolism of her reference to the singer torn between faith and fame struck a deep chord. The image of a talented artist being forced to choose between authenticity and external validation mirrored Chloe's own journey. She had the skill, the voice, and the presence to dominate, yet her decision to refuse compromise meant watching others who played by the rules claim opportunities she was denied. The heartbreak of that reality, combined with the quiet dignity of her refusal, resonated powerfully with audiences who themselves have had to make difficult choices in their careers and lives. The broader conversation her statement sparked also tapped into societal questions about power, influence, and the cost of upward mobility. It was no longer just about one artist or one label. It became a lens for examining how systems operate in entertainment, how compliance is rewarded, and how dissent is punished. Chloe's story illuminated the mechanics of an industry that thrives on control while presenting itself as glamorous, empowering, and merit-based. By speaking out, Chloe didn't just narrate her own struggles. She challenged an entire narrative, forcing both the industry and the public to reconsider what it truly costs to succeed. Her courage reframed the discussion, raising questions about the morality of mentorship, the hidden mechanisms behind fame, and the sacrifices demanded from those who refuse to compromise their principles. Chloe's words reminded the world that behind the red carpets, the magazine covers, and the award shows, there is often a hidden ledger, a tally of who conformed, who resisted, and who paid the price for integrity. And in revealing that ledger, she ignited a conversation that was long overdue, one that will likely reverberate far beyond her own career, challenging how fame, power, and talent are understood in an industry built on secrecy, strategy, and control. When Chloe said she refused to sell her soul, fans immediately understood. It wasn't just a statement. It was a signal, a warning, a window into an industry operating on levels most people can't even imagine. And when you compare Chloe and Halle, the pattern becomes painfully clear. Two sisters, equal talent, equal training, equal opportunity, but their paths couldn't be more different. One played the game. One refused. Their decision to go solo may have had less to do with artistic vision and more to do with morality. Chloe drew a line in the sand. Halle crossed it. Two different answers to the same question. What are you willing to give up for fame? And the results are obvious. Halle is winning. Disney princess, chart success, non-stop visibility, major roles, industry respect. She's protected, praised, and positioned for superstardom. Every interview, every magazine spread, every award nod reinforces the system that favors compliance. She's shielded, groomed, and carefully guided, a golden girl with a clear roadmap to the top. But Chloe? Every step forward feels like a fight against a current, every small victory met with setbacks, every loss played out in public. Despite her talent, her drive, her dedication, the system won't work for her, because the system only works for those who submit. Every decision she makes, every song she releases, every live performance is shadowed by the weight of a machine that rewards obedience and punishes independence. Fans are noticing. The imbalance is glaring. Too deliberate, too calculated. Only the artists who play along rise. The ones who resist, they get buried. Projects shelved. Rollouts sabotaged. Potential wasted. It's not coincidence. It's not bad luck. It's a machine, and Chloe has just pulled back the curtain. The way she described it wasn't hyperbolic. It was intimate, raw, the kind of truth that's easy to dismiss if you're not living it, but impossible to ignore when it comes from someone who has. And the industry knows it. Hollywood has long cultivated a culture of compliance, grooming talent to fit its mold while punishing anyone who refuses. Chloe's experience illustrates exactly how this system works. Young artists are brought in with promises, nurtured just enough to create hope, but controlled tightly enough to ensure they never challenge the power structures in place. What she exposed is bigger than one label or one contract. It's a structure built on control, compliance, blocked opportunities, and the illusion of empowerment, a system designed to trap the very people it claims to uplift. Beyonce built an empire, but every empire is built on the backs of those who never reach the throne, on artists trapped by contracts they can't escape, on talent exploited rather than elevated. Chloe's revelations force fans and insiders alike to confront the uncomfortable truth. Success in this industry is often less about merit and more about submission. The Black girl magic narrative starts to look very different when you realize it only applies to one girl. Everyone else gets breadcrumbs while being told they're eating at the table. And this isn't just about money or visibility. It's about control, about who decides which stories get told, which voices get amplified, and which get silenced. Chloe's courage in speaking out has sparked a conversation Hollywood didn't want anyone to have, about what it really costs to succeed, who gets sacrificed for others to shine, and the price of fame when the currency is your soul. The more you examine her story, the more systemic it appears. Chloe isn't a lone casualty of poor management or bad luck. She's a symptom of an entire blueprint that prioritizes power and control above all else. Artists are trained, tested, and measured not just on talent, but on their willingness to bend, to compromise, to fit into someone else's vision. Those who comply are rewarded with exposure, accolades, and opportunity. Those who resist are left in the shadows, their potential wasted, their labor exploited. Chloe's narrative is a mirror reflecting a wider industry truth. Hollywood is ruthless, and it rewards the obedient, the malleable, and the compliant, not necessarily the most talented or the most deserving. The contrast between Chloe and Halle makes this even clearer. Two sisters raised in the same environment, with similar skills, similar ambitions, and similar dreams, yet the outcomes are drastically different. Chloe's refusal to bow to the system cost her career momentum, while Halle's willingness to play by the rules elevated her to superstardom. This isn't speculation. The pattern is undeniable. Every contract clause, every promotional decision, every carefully orchestrated public appearance is designed to maintain control. Chloe didn't break the rules. She refused to play by them, and the consequences were immediate. Her decision wasn't just artistic, it was moral. Chloe's choice to protect her integrity, to refuse to compromise her values, is an act of resistance in an environment built on coercion and compromise. And while the system punished her for it, her honesty has given others a roadmap to understanding the often hidden costs of success. Fans are listening, reflecting, and reassessing everything they thought they knew about fame, mentorship, and empowerment. The tea is scalding. The truth is out. Fans are rethinking everything they thought they knew about Beyonce, Parkwood, and the machinery behind success. Chloe has revealed a side of the industry that rarely surfaces. The transactional nature of opportunity, the unspoken power dynamics, and the lengths to which some empires go to maintain control. Two sisters, two paths. One chose fame. One chose freedom. In Hollywood, only one of those choices gets rewarded. Chloe refused to pay the price, and now the world knows why her career never soared the way it should have. Not because she lacked talent, but because she was too talented to compromise. The empire is cracking, and Chloe just threw the first stone. Her words, her courage, and her refusal to conform have pulled back a veil that few dared touch. And for the first time, the public can see the intricate mechanics of power in an industry that thrives on illusion, control, and sacrifice. It's more than a story about one artist or one label. It's a lesson about the cost of integrity, the consequences of resistance, and the courage it takes to stand firm in a world designed to make you bend. Chloe's voice isn't just an outcry, it's a beacon. It illuminates a truth that countless artists have lived but never dared to speak. That talent alone isn't enough. That the system protects itself first, and that in the battle between integrity and success, integrity often comes at the highest price. And now, with Chloe's revelations laid bare, the conversation has shifted. Fans, artists, and industry insiders alike are starting to question the structures that govern fame. They're asking who really benefits, who pays, and what it truly costs to make it. Chloe didn't just speak out. She challenged an empire, exposed its inner workings, and reminded the world that there is always a price to pay. And sometimes, the only way to keep your soul intact is to refuse to pay it at all.